I run a 6-figure business generating over 20 to 30K per month with no full-time employees, and I only work roughly 4 hours every day helping coaches and entrepreneurs make more money than they ever thought possible to achieve financial and time freedom. This is my current calendar on a weekly basis, so I work give or take 10 to 15 hours a week, sometimes less, and my business makes money even when I'm sleeping or away from my desk, spending time with my family or traveling with my girlfriend. Now, it literally took me 5 years of trials, working unfulfilling jobs, extreme months of burnout, and anxiety to get here. But in hindsight, it could have been accomplished in 3 months to a year without distress had I taken these 3 steps. So what I'm going to share with you is my 3-step framework to quickly attaining passive income and financial freedom without burning out, so you no longer have to work a 9 to 5, sacrificing 10 hours of your day. Step number 1 is leveraging money for time. The biggest lie that we've been told in this generation is time is money. Now, you may actually believe this now, but I want to convince you, or rather appeal to you, that this is a lie, and that by the very virtue of believing time is money, you are also saying that money is time and that they are equal in value. Well, spoiler alert, this is just not true. This means that you are agreeing to sacrifice your greatest asset to attain wealth. Let's just think about it logically here for a second. If I presented you with 2 options, one is I give you $100 million if you sacrifice the next 30 years of your lifespan, or 2, you pay me $1 million for another 30 years of good health added to your life. Which would you choose? I believe that the majority of us are going to choose the latter, which means majority of us inherently value time over money. The issue is that we live our lives contradictory to what we claim to believe. And most times people are willing to sacrifice time, of which we know is a finite resource, in order to attain money. And so the first offer is a gamble, and as humans, we love to gamble because we don't focus on the long-term outcome. We're focused on the instant gratifying outcome, and as such, we sacrifice our greatest asset. This is why most people get caught by Ponzi schemes and scams. Their primary driving force is the money, tricking themselves into thinking that fast money attained is time gained. However, the latter offer causes you to think, how can I efficiently earn $1 million as quickly as possible so that I can buy back for myself good health and more time to spend with my family and loved ones? This mindset forces you to learn cognitive skills that will empower you to earn infinite amounts of wealth to protect your greatest asset. Unfortunately, this approach is not common in our world today. I invested my money in mentors and coaches who had far more experience than I did and had built 7- and 8-figure businesses and were only required to work 10 to 12 hours a week because they chose to. Most times these programs are major investments. In fact, I did a video where I was talking all about it. This was how I leveraged money to buy back time. I had to learn from those who were already living the lifestyle I knew I wanted for myself and my future family. The alternative would have been throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to learn how to run a profitable business on my own. I had already done that, so something had to give. Now, I've been on enough calls with prospects who say, I'll just figure it out on my own. And no problem, I'm not against this option. In the event that you do not have the financial resources at your disposal, then this is a viable solution, to which I commend you for not allowing that to hold you back, and I say good luck. However, if you have the financial means or ability to acquire the resources, yet you allow fear or scarcity mindset to hold you back, then I want to encourage you to take that leap of faith. Be the person who leverages the 1 million to gain years of good health and freedom. It was through this process I learned where I was going wrong, and it actually saved me thousands of dollars and made me hundreds of thousands. Once I had a blueprint of how to leverage my money for time, I implemented step number 2, productization and value-based pricing. You see, the sad reality is that where you currently are isn't entirely your fault, because this is what we are taught. The traditional route to which we have been exposed is essentially input equals output. And okay, it makes sense, right? Well, when you take into account the fact that this relies heavily on the input of a limited resource, then you start to realize that you've locked yourself into a losing deal, and you can only work 40 hours a week at a job, so your income ceiling is fixed at the value of what that job or employer believes you are worth. Well, Michael, I have a business, so I choose my work time. Well, great, but I see most business owners operating their business in a similar fashion. Input equals output. So they pursue more one-on-one clients, more time spent on social media, grinding to post content, more products, more businesses. You see, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, so as you'd imagine, this is a recipe for burnout. So yeah, you got your business, but you created a traditional job. Now, I was as stubborn as they come, and this was essentially my story as well. Before I got to where I am now, I did venture down the path of the 9-to-5 hustle. Now, it wasn't that working working was all bad, I enjoyed jobs where I was creating marketing content for a major tech company, and I actually liked some of the people I worked with. However, I did find myself feeling a lack of fulfillment, and not to mention it was just barely enough to move out of my parents' home. Well, God would have it that my side hustle of building websites started getting traction in 2020, and it wouldn't be long before I was working one-on-one with clients to build their course business in my agency as well. Now, this turned out to be very lucrative. So I thought, hey, if I get more clients and work 50 plus hours a week, I'll be a millionaire by the end of the year. Brilliant, right? Nope. Yeah, I was making $10,000 monthly and slowly approaching $50,000 as my prices increased, which was more money than I had made the year prior when I had nothing going for me. But I was exhausted and my calendar looked like this. As you'd expect, this led to crazy burnout that I've ever experienced. I was depressed, unhealthy, and surprise, surprise, my relationships with family and friends suffered. Yep, I was that person who was too busy for loved ones, making them feel like they were intruding every time they reached out. So I had to take a step back, scratch everything, and reinvent my model upside down, doing less to achieve more. And I discovered the new method, productization, specifically productization of my knowledge and expertise. Rather than serving clients one-on-one, I built a group coaching program with added course material to facilitate the gaps my clients were facing, empowering them to do it on their own. Now, Myron Golden wisely said, time is infinitely more valuable than money. And you can always make more money, but you can't create more time. It wasn't just about trading hours for dollars anymore. It was all about the value. So at the beginning of 2022, I started letting go of all of my one-on-one clients, some of whom were actually paying me $10,000 every year to manage their course business. I also got a $70,000 offer to build a site, and the lead begged me to take their money. Though it was extremely tempting, I knew I was heading in the right direction. By selling online courses and coaching, I was able to make my services more accessible to others, serve more people in the process, and save myself time by removing myself from the mundane work. Now my calendar went from this to this, and I only needed to show up for 12 hours a week to create content, serving my clients and raking in more sales. This allowed me to streamline my business to two core offers, a group coaching program, and recently I now offer an affordable all-in-one software for coaches and course creators. Additionally, I also changed the way I priced my offers. My prices were based on value and not on time. At a 9-to-5, even if you run a one-to-one service-based business, your value is dependent solely on how much time you allocate to the work. Rather, I based my prices on how much value I provided and considered the pain and potential costs I would save my clients from in the future if they didn't work with me or take my course. And so now I understood how my coaches were able to charge $20,000, $50,000 for a single program. Now, I'm not personally there yet, but my special offer or my most signature offer is $12,000 if someone wanted to work with me throughout the year. In fact, if you'd like to learn how to start building passive income for yourself so you can leave your 9-to-5 hustle or the one-on-one business model like I did, also consider scheduling a free strategy call with me using the link in the description, and let's just talk. Okay, so at this point, I'd figured I'd finally did it. Passive income achieved. Well, not quite. After a reality check, I realized I was living proof that just because money was coming in, life doesn't get better. What I did was create another job for myself, and it was limited to the input of my time and effort. That was until I implemented step number 3, which is automation. So here I was again, a slave to my business and still limited in time freedom. The very reason I started the business was to break the financial ceiling and create freedom, yet I had created for myself a new monster. I was manually doing the outreach in Facebook groups, following up on every message in the DMs, which was lucrative, but it required large amounts of my time. Perhaps if you're unable to detach your income from your time, then you know what that feels like. If for a second you stop to smell the fresh air, decide to take a day or a week off from work, and you instantly feel like you'll be in the red living paycheck to paycheck, then you know intimately what I'm talking about. This meant I had to explore efficient avenues that allowed me to scale without sacrificing my time. It was around the time of the influx of the AI hype that I started learning more intimately about automation. New AI tools and features were being released every week, and I realized that this was the future. This led me to implement automation systems that would do my marketing outreach for me. This meant all I needed to do was pick a social platform, create valuable content, and ask the viewer to subscribe to a free offer like a free course or leaving a comment in the chat. And once they had taken action on any of my free offers, my systems would kick into gear to acquire their contact, and I could build real relationships with my audience on autopilot via email or in the DMs. Now, majority of my time is spent creating content. hopping on strategy calls, and coaching my students. The three things I love doing the most. And as I grow the business, I've also invested in video editors since editing took 6 to 7 hours of my day. I've also automated some of my initial scripting of some of my videos, though I still script about 75% of it. Automation systems did not only work for me, but also for my students. One of my clients gained 300 new email subscribers in a week's time simply by posting on their social platform about a free workshop. In my program, I currently teach automation, and I've also included automation features in my all-in-one course platform that my students have access to, and it's really been a lifesaver and a time saver especially. Finally, I've been able to get more time for myself and work from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. without sacrificing 10 hours for someone else. So why am I sharing all this? Well, you have two options, the blue pill and the red pill. The blue pill is the option where you stay a slave to the traditional method of sacrificing your time for pennies, working the corporate hamster wheel, or working one-on-one with clients with nothing to show for it. You'll remain stuck with the same income and frustrated, hoping for a magical wand to change your current situation. Or you could choose the red pill, which is following the path of the new method, choosing to leverage your money to attain knowledge that will enable you to build a business that is scalable, profitable, and repeatable. One that allows you to work on your business and not in your business. So which one will you choose? If you chose the red pill, then I encourage you to watch this next video where I break down what I would do if I had to start over all again from scratch and build a 6-figure business. It's the exact blueprint I would implement step by step to building an online business that scales and produces passive income even if you have zero audience and no prior experience.